Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM19 story, part of The Furniture with me, Daniel. It's Season 1, Episode 7, and today we could essentially wrap up the title for Torquay with a big result against Billericay, our title rivals. Before we play at home to Dartford in the National League South as well, a team that were flying at the start of the season, but are now at risk at dropping out of the playoffs entirely. But since the last episode, you can see we've got a new hero here, Matt Foy, with 22 goals now. He's been an absolute fire. Kennedy was, but unfortunately he's been out injured for a little while. You can see he's had a hernia, he's been out for about a month around the top here. And as a result, Foy's had to take on the main mantle. The big bad news, unfortunately, is Ivan Wassi. He came back in the last episode. The game against Ebbsfleet, I think it was his first start in about 3 months. Unfortunately, he's broken his leg and he's going to be out for a year now. We have had another one of those fantastic recommendations by a director of football. But for this lad, unfortunately, that's probably the end of his career because we're not in a position where we can afford to keep players on the books out of pity. We have to let him go at the end of the season. And unfortunately, that's probably going to be the end of his career at this level. But let's look at the man they've brought in to replace him. If we go to the transfers, you can see we're trying to take advantage of our deal with Sunderland with a couple of their loan players. I don't think we'll get either of them in, but it's worth a go. It does say we're 3,000 over our wage budget, but that's not entirely true. We've also got Sam Kelly coming in the summer, a left winger. He's a fantastic looking player. If we go to the scout report, he's a 3.5-star current ability player. And you can see one of the giveaways there. Ryan O'Sullivan, who was playing for Ebbsfleet in the last episode. He's already at the club, so we'll go and meet him in a minute in more detail. But Sam Kelly's going to be an excellent signing for us. And it allows us to get rid of Jason Banton, who I'm not a big fan of at all. And a younger, more motivated, harder working player can only be a good thing for the club. So let's look at the permanent ins and outs. Nothing out since you were last with me. We've tried hard but not been able to do it. The couple of ins, obviously O'Sullivan, who we'll meet in a second, but Darren White is the right back who came in to replace Wassi. Came straight up in the scout report afterwards, the director of football highlighting that we might want to bring him in, and he's absolutely brilliant, to be fair to him. 3.5-star ability, the same potential. He's 29 years of age on loan from Coventry, and he's out of contract there at the end of the season, so hopefully we'll be able to bring him in then, because he's certainly a player ready for National League action. The other one we brought in was O'Sullivan, as we mentioned, a backup left back for Ryan Dixon, who's getting on a bit now and starting to struggle. He's a 3-star ability player with 4.5-star potential, had League 1 and League 2 clubs after him, so we're really delighted to get this one on board. He's not quite got the stamina yet, but he's got burning pace and is good going forward. He can cover on the left wing as well, and he's almost the same sort of mould as Dixon, which is something I like to see. And I have no doubts that he'll be a good backup or rotational option for us next season. So that just leaves us with the results since the last episode. Obviously you were with me for that doubleheader in the FA Trophy against Ebbsfleet and in the league game against Oxford City, where we produced 2 really good performances. Into February we won 1-0 at East Thurrock. Sendles White with his 6th or 7th goal of the season from centre half. Let's have a look. 6th goal of the season. Remarkable achievement from that position really, and has been very good from set pieces and a clear threat for us this season, despite Sokolik probably being better in the air. We then picked up a narrow 3-2 win against Chelmsford. It was all going swimmingly as Kennedy got a hat-trick and Chapman got sent off for them at 3-0. But unfortunately we got complacent and they got 2 late goals to give us a real scare and a grandstand finish. We then played another National League side away from home, this time Sutton United, and it sort of calmed my optimism about next season a little bit because we were absolutely played off the park in this one. We did do okay in the middle, but in wide areas we were just beaten soundly. We did struggle not having Ryan Dixon fit, and it was before O'Sullivan joined. So Liam Davis had an absolute shocker at left back. And it was also the first game after Mikhail Kennedy got injured, so we lost a lot of our threat up front. But we did get back to winning ways in the league in the following game against Welling. Matt Foy this time with a hat-trick. Absolutely brilliant performance. But that was followed up with just our 2nd league defeat of the season and our first one at home technically, although our away defeat was at our home ground. It was against Dulwich Hamlet, who'd had a poor season. They're down in the bottom half of the league, but they absolutely outplayed us again. We didn't deserve anything out of the game, and our slightly rotated side didn't make anything happen. You can see in that game we were struggling. We had to play Jason Banton up front, the sub left winger. So there are some mitigating circumstances, but I'm not happy with the performance at all, especially as we had a bumper crowd in for that one. But luckily we got back to winning ways in the last game, a week and a half ago now as it is. It was against Weston-super-Mare, who were in the playoff places having a brilliant season. Ruari Keating got a brace both from the penalty spot, and Matt Foy on the stroke of half time put us 3-0 up. But again, that habit in the second half has kicked in, and we've let in a couple of goals to give them a chance. We've really got to work on that going into next season. But today it's all about the big game against Billericay. We'll see where we stand after that, but let's get straight into it and see if we can wrap up this title early on. We've got 9 games to go. If we go back to the league table, we're 15 points clear, so if all goes well at the end of this game we could be 18 points clear with 8 to play. But that might be wishful thinking because they're a very good side, and away from home against the Moneybags we might struggle a little bit. Let's go and look at the lineup we've got for today. You can see it's one of the few games where Billericay are slight favourites, although we take a repeat of that home performance earlier in the season, which we showed on camera in episode 4 I think it was. You can also see they might have all the money in the world, but they can't get a following as big as ours. Only 1,300 roughly expected. We've got about 2,000 in the gate for the last couple of home games, so that's a good sign for us. A naturally bigger club rather than one that's bought their way up. But the lineup we've got for today is the ever-dependable Bass in goal. The fullbacks are Dixon and White with Sokolic and Sendles-White in the middle. Bobson, Ballin and Liam Davis are on the wings with Walker and Payne in the centre of midfield. And Keating and Foy continue up front with Mikhail Kennedy not yet fit to start or even take a place on the bench. So let's get into it and see if we can produce another great performance. Hopefully we won't disintegrate in the second half again. We haven't got as many changes off the bench that can make a difference. We're still strong in central midfield, but we've got a weaker sub-striker, a weaker winger and a weak fullback on the bench with the injuries to Winter and Kennedy amongst others. You can see a few of those high earners are in the squad for them today, and one of them we mentioned is on the bench on £1,300 a week, so that says a lot about where they are in comparison. We're going to be assertive with the boys. We want them to prove a point. This is all about showing that they are without doubt the best side in this league, which they've proven by being 15 points clear, but there's still 9 games to go and that can all change. From the kick-off, we're coming forward down the left. Payne gets it out to Davis. Can he get the ball into the box early? He can, but it's straight at the keeper, Chubka, and unfortunately it's led to nothing. We're bringing it forward on the right again. Bobson Ballin goes back to White. Payne finds Ballin again inside to Jack Payne. Payne gets it into the box. Keating loses out and Foy gets the rebound, but it goes just over the bar, and that's the first good chance of the game, but unfortunately we've wasted it. We're coming forward again, but it's a great challenge by the centre-half Thompson. Another weird time for a highlight start. Rachubka's bringing the ball forward from the goal kick. He's gone to Cavalier out to Bridge. Bridge gets it on the right to Cowan Hall. Long ball over the top to Lloyd. Lloyd's got it on the edge. Shoots. It's a great finish. You can't do anything about quality like that. Assisted by the man who's earning more than any of our team. And unfortunately, the finances are showing. We've got the compulsory warning to close down George Lloyd after he scored his goal. Ballin gets it to White, who goes long over the top, but it's aimless. Cowan Hall brings it away down the right-hand side over halfway. Goes inside to Bridge, who's got plenty of time on the ball. Giorgio out to Lloyd again. Lloyd's got time to go back to Cavalier. Bridge, they're bringing it forward. They're all over us here. Dixon heads it away to the edge of the box, but it's only fallen to them 25 yards out again. Bridge given time to run into the box, but he's put it high and wide, and we get away with that one. We've got a corner on the right-hand side with Liam Davis. 20 minutes in now. Punched away by the keeper. Foy brings it down to Payne. Bobson Ballin goes down the right-hand side. There's 4 in the box if he can find them. But his cross is awful. It's blocked to Lloyd. And they'll bring it away comfortably. And to be honest, we don't look like we're in this game much. Potter's bringing it over halfway for Billericay. Finds Giorgio up front. He's running through us. There's so much time. And he nearly puts it in the top corner as well. But on this occasion, it's just over and wide. They've got it on the right again with Granderson. They've got a highlight every couple of minutes now. They're absolutely dominating this game. It's claimed by the keeper, Bass, and that was a pretty pointless highlight in all honesty. Unless we can bring it forward and nick one on the counter. Bass with a kick out to the right-hand side, but it's drifted inside, and Sendles-White's long clearance goes over to Foy. Foy's in one-on-one, lays it to Keating, and Rachubka, despite being given a chance with a shot that he should never have been near, has absolutely thrown it into the net. And Rawari Keating very luckily gets us back on level terms and is very much against the run of play. We've got a free kick now with Liam Davis, curls it just wide. The keeper had it covered in all honesty, and with nearly half an hour gone, it's 1-1. Billericay still on top, but we're just getting back into it now. Granderson's bringing it forward from right back to Bridge. Bridge is going to go out wide to Cowan Hall. Cowan Hall just charging at the defence. It's so easy for him. The long ball through's blocked, but it falls to them in midfield again. And now they come down the left-hand side instead. Kennedy's got a good delivery, but his cross is blocked. And now Walker on the counter. We've got the front 2 up there as well. Can he find anyone? He can't. He's too slow and he's challenged. It's back on halfway again with Billericay on the right-hand side to Cowan Hall. Cowan Hall beats his man and gets the cross in. Lloyd's there, but he puts it wide. and they're looking so threatening against us. We can't cope with them in all honesty, and it's just about them wasting chances. But we've got an outswinging corner, goes towards Sokolik, but it's headed away. Balling gets it back out to Davis, wonderful cross, and Rawari Keating puts it in, and somehow we're ahead in this game. We've had a few chances, but we've been absolutely outplayed. But that doesn't matter because we're 2-1 up, and we're 18 points clear in the league now. Payne's got the ball in midfield out to Davis on the left wing. Long ball over to Keating. He's in for his hat-trick. He's one-on-one. Tries to shoot. It was a bit of an acute angle and Rachubka makes a very good save to tip it wide. It was a good finish to be honest, but the keeper was equal to it. Davis with a poor corner which is cleared away by Doe, but it'll only fall to White, the loan signing, on halfway. He brings it forward to Bobson, balling on the right. Can he take his man on? He can't. He goes back, but it's blocked by Potter, and now Billericay have got us on the counter, but Payne in the middle so strong to win it back. And on a stroke of half-time, it is 2-1, and that is the whistle in fact. We go ahead in the break. It's been a fairly even game in terms of chances, but Billericay have definitely had the better of it. We're going to tell them to guard against complacency, and we're going to get into the second half. It's headed away by Balling. He wins the challenge from them from the kick-off, but he's lost out again, and we have to settle for the throw-in on halfway. Ryan Dixon's had a warning. He's not had the greatest game in the world. Bridge has got it out to the right to Granderson, but they've got so much pace and quality out there. Lloyd with a free header in the 6-yard box, but it's straight at Bass. I mean, Dixon, you've got to bear in mind he's playing against Cowan Hall, who's on £1.50 a week. He's a good player at this level, and Dixon's an ageing fullback. Cowan Hall with another delivery to Potter. Potter back to Giorgio, and the shot's blocked out for a corner. Sokolik does brilliantly there. We haven't really got a sub on the left either. O'Sullivan, the new signing, is not quite fit to play. Probably would have been the perfect man with pace today, as he's a very quick young fullback. Dixon heads that cross away though, and it falls to Davis. Davis finds Foy, and now we've got 3 on 2. Keating's waiting for the runner from midfield. It's Bobson balling on the right. There's 3 in the middle, but the cross is a bit close to the keeper, and Thompson will head it away. And now Cowan Hall can break on the right-hand side. We're nearly at the hour mark, so we will look at changes in a minute, as White clears the long ball away, but it's fallen straight to Potter on the left, who brings it forward. He's charging through the defence to Giorgio, but the shot's pointless and it's gone a long way wide, and we still survive at 2-1. Just a quarter of the game to go, and it's Dixon on the left-hand side. Payne's got the ball back to him and he goes long through the middle, but he's given the ball away and it's a long clearance by Billericay. Dixon gets another chance and finds Walker this time. Payne to Davis on the left. Foy's got 2 men running off him. He finds Keating, who's in. He's made a lovely touch there and goes back to Payne. Payne's going to go left, does he? No, he goes into Foy. Foy's got 2 in the middle. Crosses for Walker with 3-1 up. And there is the title, surely. We're 18 points clear as it stands with just 8 games to go. And our closest rivals have been really poor in this second half. And we're going to look at some changes now with just under 20 minutes left. Simple ones really. Jack Payne's not had the best game. We're going to bring on Butterfield, who's more defensive minded, and switch Walker into the deep lying role. Bobson Balling's had a poor game as well, so we'll give Banton a chance on the right. We'll save the other change for a bit of a time wasting stoppage time sub if needed. And with 15 minutes to go, it's just about hanging on now. Billericay with the corner, not long to go now. O'Hara the sub with the corner, but it's headed away as far as Bridge. His shot's blocked by the sub Butterfield, and he'll bring it forward down the left now. He's got loads of men running off him, but the clearance is poor, but it falls to a Torquay man and he gets away with it. We're into stoppage time for that substitution. Keating's picked up a knock, so Jamie Reid will get a rare appearance. It'll only be a minute or 2. It didn't even get made till the 94th minute. Dixon with a throw-in, finds Walker to Reid the sub. Reid goes all the way back to Sendles White, but that's not a problem. We were just seeing out time. And that's a fantastic result, despite a relatively average performance by our standards. A 3-1 win, and there's no doubts now that the title's just about wrapped up. You can see the league table now. It's pretty much done and dusted. To only lose 2 out of 34 games is an absolutely brilliant achievement, and I am really looking forward to managing this club for 20-25 years. I can't see anything going wrong at this point. It gives us an extra year to build slowly in the National League, give our young players a chance, and maybe keep the feel-good factor at the club and push for a top-half finish. But I couldn't be happier with that one. Let's go and have a look at our inbox. We've secured a playoff spot, but that's not what we're looking for in all honesty. It was a good defensive performance again, despite the fact we weren't at our best, as we've mentioned already. The Keating injury's a worry for me after his 2 goals in that one. 1 to 2 days, we'll take that. We've got Winter and Kennedy coming back next week as well, so they're brilliant for us. We've got the loan deals accepted for the Sunderland players. We've just got to get them to agree terms now. We'll give Keating some praise. Absolutely fantastic in front of goal, which isn't like him, to be honest. We'll do the press conference off camera, a fantastic performance, and we'll be back in a minute for the Dartford game in the second of this double header. Right, we're into the second of this doubleheader against Dartford, but we've got one thing to show you in the week in between, which shows the clear difference in approach between us and Billericay. Billericay have brought in a sub-centre-half, Leon Davis, just because they had an injury to one of their players, and he's coming on £1,100 a week from Cambridge. He's been selected as a rotational option. He's a right-back, sorry. He's coming in because they've got an injury for a month from the last game, and they've paid £1,100 for a permanent signing. He's 19 years of age and it may work out, but it's a lot of money at this level again. At Torquay, on the other hand, we've gone and used our affiliation with Sunderland, and we've got in this exciting youngster Mumba. Now, I saw him play for Sunderland in real life this season against Luton, and he looked absolutely fantastic. He's 17 years of age. He's 4.5-star ability, 5-star potential. We've only got him on loan for the end of this season, but I'm hoping that if we can go up and he does well for us, he'll then want to stay the following year. And in the National League, he'll be one of the best players in that division. He's got brilliant physical attributes. He works hard, he's determined, and he's technically a sound player going forward. So I couldn't ask for much more out of a footballer, really. We're going to try him as our playmaker after today. He's just coming back from injury, so he will miss out on this one. But from the following game, he'll be back. Mikal Kennedy will be back. And there's no chance of them not combining well. He might even be able to cover up right back for us, where we've had injuries all season. But let's get into this second one. We're clear favourites to win this. We've been in inconsistent form compared to Dartford, who have actually bounced back in recent weeks. And we have won the last couple of games, including that big confidence boosting one against Billericay. So we're in good form coming into it. We've got Bass in goal. There's not many excuses to make changes, and I don't think we've made any, to be honest. We've got Bass in goal with White and Dixon at fullback. We've got Sendles, White and Sokolic at centre-half. Balling and Davis on the wings with Payne and Walker in central midfield. And we've got Keating and Foy up front, looking to continue their good form. The only changes on the bench: Winter and O'Sullivan are both fit and named as substitutes today. Banton drops off, as does the loanee Sam Long. So let's get into this one and see if we can carry on our brilliant form, especially on camera against top 7 sides. Dartford are playing their usual 4-3-3, 4-5-1, whatever you want to call it. We're playing the bog standard 4-4-2, as is the best formation to play at this level, and I think we're proving that this season. We're going to tell them to pick up where they left off. We'll take the same result again, and to be honest, we'll take an average performance if it gets us the result. It's Dartford with the early running from the kick-off. They try a switch of play, but it falls to White, and Walker can bring it away to the left, and the highlight ends early on. But Keating gets it now, goes back to Payne. Payne out to the left, but it's blocked. Sendles White gets it wide to Davis now. Davis to Payne. Payne back to Davis again, and now he can start to run inside. Lovely switch of play to Balling, who beats the fullback to it. Crosses for Foy. 2.25 minutes on the clock, and we're already 1-0 up. Matt Foy with his 23rd goal of the season. And we've already agreed a loan deal to keep him here next year too. One other thing that happened off camera, a fantastic performance from him. He's on 23 goals for this season now. I think that matches Kennedy in all competitions. And the front two, next season with those two in the National League, should keep us up, because we'll have goals in our ranks in abundance. They've had a free kick, but it's gone just over. And with 20 minutes gone, we're completely comfortable. 25 minutes on the clock, it's Dartford on the left with an attacking throw-in. They've got another good crossing, which Payne heads away. Falls to Foy, and this is where we're dangerous on the counter. Long ball over to Keating, who's in one-on-one, into the box. Forces a good save out of Ibrahim, and it's still 1-0. It's us to have a throw-in on the attacking left-hand side now. It's Dixon, but it's fallen back out to Davis. Davis back to Sendles White in the centre circle. Tries to switch the play, but it's poor. And he's cleared away, and now on the counter-attack, Dartford can catch us out for once. Isaac with the ball in behind to Murphy. Murphy flicks to Philpott, and it's a brilliant save by Bass. The one man I'm really worried about losing is Alex Bass. He's such a high quality keeper. The only player who's on a par in terms of star rating with Mumba. And I just feel like he'd be a star in the National League too. I think I haven't realised how good some of these players are. And we're really looking forward to testing our potential in the National League next year. I think we could do quite well. As Walker has a free header but puts it straight at the keeper. And unfortunately we're settling for a 1-0 again. We're going to go and scroll down and see what Billericay are doing. They're 1-0 up at Slough Town at the moment. But on the stroke of half-time, we've got the same result and are maintaining our 18-point lead. That is the break then, a very comfortable performance. We'll tell them not to get complacent again. It worked against Billericay, so we'll try it again now. Dixon's got it on the left to Payne. Payne back to Davis. Keating to Payne again. Payne finds Walker. Walker out to Balling on the right. He beats the fullback again, but the centre-half makes a good sliding challenge to cover. And the long ball over the top leaves Dartford 3-on-3. It's a good shot and a straight at Bass. I've just noticed they've gone to the 3-4-3, so we're going to drop our fullbacks back a little bit. Dixon and White both drop to the defensive duty, and hopefully that'll do enough for us. We'll also do the same with Payne in central midfield, just to try and keep things sturdy there. But it looks like they're going to go long ball and just try and get the 3 in over the top. Driver with the long ball forward towards Hernandez on the left. Ball in intercepts, but it's back to Bonner. Bradbrook in the middle switches to Hickman, and Dartford are starting to get in the ascendancy with this 3 up front. It's them bringing it forward again on the left-hand side with Philpott. Philpott's shot's blocked. I think it was a cross in all honesty. Isaac gets it wide to Hickman again. We can't cope with this 5 up there. Pugh's header straight at Bass, who makes another good save. We've got a warning to close down Bradbrook, who seems to be orchestrating the midfield. And with the attacking formation, we could well let in a goal. Isaac with the corner. Payne heads away. We defended well from them so far. But it's a long ball out again from Dartford to Isaac. Isaac back to Bonner 30 yards out. And they go all the way back to halfway. But Bradbrook brings it forward again. He's got quality and he gets it into Murphy. And there is the goal. And all we can hope is that they go back to a more defensive formation now. We're going to push our fullbacks forward again because we just seem to be inviting pressure onto ourselves. And for the first time in a long time, we've got a lot of thinking to do now. I hope they drop back because we can't cope with that formation. They haven't, and it looks like we might be in for a struggle here. Davis goes inside to Walker. Walker goes back to Davis on the left, over the top to Foy. Flicks on to Keating. This would be a good response. It is! What a finish by Ruari Keating. 2 goals in the last game against Billericay, and a beautiful finish there just after we conceded. And there's absolutely no doubt that he's a big game player for us. We're going to make a couple of changes. Walker looks complacent. Butterfield, the defensive-minded midfielder, on for him. Liam Davis is having a poor game on the left wing, so we'll bring on O'Sullivan. I think Dixon's the better player defensively, so we'll leave him at full-back, but Sullivan supporting him will be good for us. And with 25 minutes to go, it's a game of holding on now. We've got a free kick in the centre-half. Sendles White over the top to Keating. Foy's in the middle. He's going to get there. It's 3-1, and how simple was that? You didn't see something like that coming. Just a long hoofed clearance from the centre-back, and it's straight at Keating, and he's in 2-on-1. And maybe they've just gone a bit too attacking there. You can see they've dropped back now as they're 2 goals behind. So by getting the counter-attacks and getting a couple of goals, we've actually forced them to play the way we want them to. Bass playing it very composed at the back. Sendles White back to him again. And as nice as that is, I don't want too many of them because it's given the ball away. And we don't want to let Dartford back into this game. Murphy finds Philpott, but it's blocked. And Bass then has an easy gather of the ball back in his 6-yard box. 20 minutes to go. We've got a throw-in on the right. White finds Keating, who goes back to White again. Long ball over towards Foy, but it's headed away, and now Dartford can bring it forward. But O'Sullivan's composed and gets it back to Sendles White. Sokolic long over the top. Will Foy return the favour? That's not very good sportsmanship from Foy. Keating laid him in a minute ago, and he could have done the same there, but he got greedy on a hat-trick, and now we have to settle for the throw. Dixon to Payne, back to Dixon again. Crosses towards Ballin, who scores. Bobson Ballin scoring headers. His first goal of the season, and when that's happening, you know it's going to be your day. 20 minutes to go, and it's a comfortable 4-1 lead now. 10 minutes to go. We've got a throw on the right. Ballin's lost out in a challenge, and it's been cleared. We're going to go and do that bit of closing down that we've been warned to. Philpott was the man who we've been told to charge at. Dixon clears the ball long over the top and Bonner heads away, Bradbrook gets it down the left to Pugh. Pugh crosses towards Murphy. Dixon brilliant, and Bradbrook puts the rebound over the bar. We're going to make another sub. We're starting to struggle a bit with fitness. And with 5 minutes to go, we'll take Payne off, bring Cole Stewart on in the middle and just shore things up with fresh legs. It's O'Sullivan on the left-hand side with a long ball over towards Keating, but Bonner will get there easily. It's back to Ibrahim, the keeper will bring it away. Ibrahim's going to go long over the top to Murphy. Murphy finds Byrne and it's Dartford bringing it forward. We've just got to be sensible at this point. Philpott holds the ball up 25 yards out. Back to Bradbrook again. Tries to shoot, but it's straight at the keeper, Bass, and we can deal with those all day long. Philpott again on the edge of the box for Dartford finds Byrne. Byrne in the left-hand side with the cross towards Murphy. O'Sullivan, brilliant defending there. Getting back from that left midfield position. Driver to Bradbrook 30 yards out. Tries to shoot again, and we'll live with those all day. They've gone to a front three now, but I've no idea why they're doing that with a minute left. We've got a throw-in on the right, just 45 seconds left. On the left, sorry. Don't know what I'm going there. I'm losing my bearings. Stewart's gone to Butterfield. His shot's blocked. Falls to Bobson Ballin on the right, who just goes back comfortably to White. Out to Ballin again, who's going to take on his man, but just goes inside to Butterfield. Stewart with a lovely idea in behind, but it's overhit and Ibrahim will claim at the back. Dartford will bring it away, but it's going to be 4-1. What a fantastic performance in the second half. Against the 3-4-3, we've managed to prevail. O'Sullivan's bringing it forward in his challenge, but that's just about going to be it. It's on the full-time whistle. A 4-1 victory. We're 18 points clear still. A fantastic result. and absolutely brilliant. I can't say any more superlatives for these lads. They've been fantastic all season. Billericay won, so we are just the 18 points clear with 7 games to go. So at least 2 more games before we can actually wrap up the title. Although it seems very clear now that it's impossible we're going to drop it. Billericay will drop 3 points somewhere, and our goal difference is 30 goals superior. We'll have a quick look at what they've said about the game. The promotion bid for Dartford takes a hit. Did they drop out of the top 7? They did. And it's East Thurrock up there. That's a bit of a surprise. Fantastic from them. But Dartford, the side who I've got a bit of a soft spot for. We said earlier in the season in the comments to one of the videos, we'd like them to come up with us. But that's certainly not going to be the case now, even if they do get in the playoffs. O'Sullivan made his debut and was brilliant defensively off the bench. And Foy got a brace and was fantastic for us again, despite being a bit greedy when trying to get his hat-trick. We've praised him there and he's happy enough. So it's just a matter of time now. I don't think there's any point coming back for the game where we wrap up the title, because we all know we've already done it with that win against Billericay. So we'll come back for that last game of the season away at St Albans. It'll just be a promotion party at Clarence Park. And we'll start to talk through our preparations for the National League, which we can start to put in place. One of the chief ones being getting a youth recruitment in place, because we haven't had a youth intake this year, because it's one of the things Torquay gave up when they went down, I think. And that's been reflected in the game. So unfortunately there's no youth prospects to talk about, but from next season we'll make sure that's the case. But a wonderful episode with 2 wonderful results. If you did enjoy it, please put a thumbs up on there. Let me know in the comments what you think of our side, how well we can do in the National League. I'm really optimistic we can give almost any team a game at home, but what do you think on the road? That Sutton game must be a bit of a warning for us. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager content from this story, part of the furniture with Torquay United, and our other journeyman story, the head coach, where we try to make it to the top of the game working under a director of football at every club. But a massive thanks for watching this one as always, and we'll see you next time.